All right, folks, what is going on? This is episode 796 of the First and Frame Rate Show. I am VF Baller. Over here, we talk about Georgia Southern Atlanta Falcons football. Not much on the Georgia Southern front. A couple of guys are in the transfer portal. Not much to really report right now. But I do want to get back on the Georgia Southern train. The spring game was a success, and it looks like the team is doing pretty good for the most part. But with that being said, we're going to talk some more Falcons because that is the biggest talk, not only just in the city of Atlanta, but pretty much all of the NFL with the whole situation of Michael Penix and the front office. So we're going to talk about today, should you believe in the front office? Even if you are, on the fence Falcons fan, you thought about being a Falcons fan, and believe me, there's people out there that like this. Or you're a Falcons fan that's kind of lost a little bit of confidence. Should you believe in the Falcons front office? Long story short, if you want the short story, basically, I think you should. And there's a lot that goes behind that, not just with the Michael Penix, Kirk Cousins situation. We're going to dibble in that a little bit, but the other things that's been going on that nobody's really talking about. Let's get into it. If it's your first time here, welcome. I could be found on YouTube and Rumble. I'm also on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. If you want to watch the show is on Rumble. So if you're on Rumble or if you're on YouTube and you're listening to this or any other, platform, if you want to just watch the show as me in the, in my little studio doing the podcast and watch my reactions or whatever, you can watch there. Or if you want to just look at it on Spotify, I think that's another avenue, and just listening Apple Podcasts and YouTube as well. I could be followed on X at VF Baller, the website. I think the website is pretty much done. I talked to the person who's running the website, and it's not cost effective to keep the website up and running. So if you go to the website, it may not be anything there. If it is, cool, but I'm pretty much gonna X out the website because there's other ways to follow and get the information from the podcast. So that's pretty much what it is at this point. If you want to donate to the show, CashApp and PayPal links they're below. I will try to put them in the description of the show or whatever the case may be if they're not, but I'm pretty sure they are. Let's just get into this. Enough of the house cleaning or whatever the case may be. But I do thank y'all enough. I cannot thank y'all enough for supporting the show. The front office made a bold move. They basically did with the Michael Penix situation and the Kirk Cousins deal. And I want to touch on this very, very lightly on this episode because there's other things I want to talk about with the team when it comes to the front office and the coaching or whatever. If you really want my opinion, I believe that Kirk Cousins he is on a 4-year deal. But I think, obviously, I think the team is going to take it one game at a time. Not one game, but one season at a time. 1, 2, 3, whatever the case may be. So this is going to be one season of Kirk Cousins, see how he does, and see if they're going to keep going. Because they sit here and talk about a 2, 3, 4-year plan at quarterback. I don't think they really believe that. If they do, they'll be out of their mind. I think at the most it's a 2-year plan. And if Kirk Cousins do get us to the playoffs and we win a playoff game, he may come back. There's a definite that he comes back if if they get to the NFC Championship, he will probably be back the following season. But even if the second season, if they get that close, there's a really good possibility that they're not going to run Kirk Cousins back a third year. I just don't see it. I really believe in my gut feeling. I believe that after 2 years, thanks but no thanks. Kirk Cousins, you've been great. Even if they go as far as, let's say the NFC Championship game, or even if they make it to a Super Bowl, I think they're not going to run it back with Kirk Cousins after the third year. After the second year. The third year is going to be Michael Penix's team. And I believe that Michael Penix should be ready. Michael Penix should be, pretty much he should be the dominant QB1 at that point. You're talking about Kirk Cousins at age 37 going on 38. Even though that is, not a big thing for quarterbacks at this point. But when you have a young guy waiting, I think they're just going to try to get him going. The contract of Kirk Cousins is pretty much done at that point because he's only going to be $10 million on the salary, and they're gonna probably just keep him as a backup, but keep it moving. Especially, like I said, especially if the Falcons aren't getting to the Super Bowl. I mean, if you're getting to the playoffs, cool. That's I think they'll run it back another year, but that third year, I think that's just going to be enough. And if they don't make it to a Super Bowl or NFC Championship game, that third year is going straight to Michael Penix. So I don't think this is going to be a 4-year deal where Michael Penix be sitting on the sideline for that long. I really believe that this is going to be a one year deal inside of the 4-year contract. So what is going to happen is, let's say the first year something happens and Kirk Cousins can't play the full season. Michael Penix have to step in and he lights it up for the last 6 games, or if he lights it up for a few games while Kirk Cousins is recovering from an injury or whatever case may be, bad QB play or whatever. I think they're just going to probably eat that cap money and take on Michael Penix, and they'll just eat it for the second year or whatever case may be. In other words, it's a good insurance policy to have. So that's what I feel like they're going to do there. Now, let's get into the other stuff, because this is stuff that nobody's talking about. People want to rag on the Falcons for not getting it done when it comes to getting a cornerback. Now, I understand it. I do feel like for some people it has become somewhat of the next thing to argue about, because everybody was on the pass rush bandwagon and nobody really said much about the picks that they made at pass rush. I think they got 4 different guys that could be around the front 7, 3 different guys that could be around the front 7. Yeah, they did with their due diligence on that, that front. So now the next thing is, oh, you didn't get a cornerback. You took the running back from Alabama. And I get it, but let's be honest. Even if they did get if they did get a cornerback in the 4th, 5th, 6th round or whatever, nobody's going to be satisfied. Everybody would have been like, well, why didn't take one earlier? Well, I mean, look, you should have took somebody in the pace of Michael Penix. So at the end of the day, nobody's going to be satisfied. But what I will say, you got Jimmy Lake, you got Raheem Morris, you have Jerry Gray. You got 3 guys who know the cornerback position very well. I think guys like Clark Phillips is going to thrive, and I think he can be the person that can step up the CB2 when it comes to his second year. With him and AJ Terrell next to each other, I think that's what they're betting on. They may bring some talent in later just for depth, but I really believe that Clark Phillips, even though he's a little undersized, he's probably going to be cornerback number 2. They're going to bring some other guys to rotate if need be, but I do believe in the front office when it comes to cornerbacks. Now, as far as the front 7, I have no quarrels with the front 7. I think the front 7 is going to be fine. I think they did a fantastic job. Shout out to Arthur Smith. That's one thing I really would say. Him and our old defensive coordinator did a pretty good job of making sure our front, 7 was, pretty stout. You brought in Caden Ellis, you brought in Ayamada, you brought in Calais Campbell. Don't know if he's coming back, but you brought in guys, Bud Dupree. You brought guys in that pretty much made our defensive line a little bit better. Grady Jarrett went down. Kentavious Street came in. We did pretty good on that front. So with that being said, there's not that much of a rumbling when it comes to the front 7, but I do understand why there's somewhat of a somewhat a concern when it comes to the secondary. I get it. I'm not going to sit here and say, oh, the secondary is fine, but like I said, when you have a front office like this, you got guys who know the position, Jerry Gray, Jimmy Lake, you got Raheem Morris, you got these 3 guys who know the position of being a cornerback or being a defensive back. And then you got Jesse Bates and AJ Terrell, guys who know the position, who can learn. And you never too late to learn. You can still learn from these guys that are coming in to be the coaches. I think they're going to be fine. I think they're going to be pretty good. They actually still believe in Richie Grant. You got Helms coming back. I think they're going to be okay, guys. Will it be the weakest link? It is a big possibility. I mean, Jesse Bates and AJ Terrell are no slouches, and they can, cover up a lot of issues, with the secondary. And this new defensive scheme, we'll see how it goes. But even if it is the weakest link, I still believe if this front 7 could get after the quarterback, if they could put some pressure on the quarterback, it's going to make it a lot easier for the secondary to cover their man. Also, it'll be even easier for them to get more turnovers, because the quarterback in the pocket is going to have to panic a little bit. Probably not going to be able to get the ball out like you want to, and that could cause turnovers. So I think at the end of the day, I see what the front office is trying to do with the quarterback situation, and defensively, I'm not saying it's all good, but I see what they're doing as well. The offense is, I mean, even you got Michael Penix, the offense is already straight. You really don't have to do much. Long as Kyle Pitts, is actually healthy, that's just an extra weapon with him, Bijan, Tyler, Drake London, you got Mooney, you got Ray. Look, you got more, you got some dogs on that side of the ball. So if we're not moving the ball in that situation, I'm gonna have to really question Zach Robinson. Also, we got the rookie that we got from Illinois, Casey Washington. Watch out for that guy. I think he's gonna be a lot better than people think he is. I think he's gonna be a stud for the team, in my opinion. Also, the defense, like I said, I think they're gonna be okay. Will they be a top 10? Probably not. Top 15, maybe. Top 20. Between 15 and 20 is probably where I got them. I'm not gonna lie, unless that front seven really moves to fruition. The Trice, the Rook, the guy from Oregon comes in. Grady's back on point. You got Caden Ellis, Troy Anderson. Oh man, I mean, you got some guys up front where this could make this defense really a top 10 if all those guys in the front seven are on point. Because you're going to stop the run. You're going to get some opportunities in the passing game. And with an offense like we have, it could be a really good situation. And like I said, even to the point where, like I said, now I'll close with this. Even if Kirk Cousins it could be a cap casualty for the team, you got Michael Penix in waiting. So at the end of the day, I understand what they're going with, and I'm going to trust this front office. I think I see the vision. Do I believe in it wholeheartedly? I'm still on the wait and see approach, but I understand what they're trying to do, and I'm going to see how it plays out. So if you like this commentary, hit the like button, share this podcast, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Let me know what you guys think. Should you believe in the Falcons front office? Do you think they're out of their mind? Do you think they don't have any adults in the room, like this ex-GM said on in the media recently? And that ex-GM could be an ex-GM for a reason. Maybe he wasn't an adult in the room. Maybe an adult got rid of him when he was a GM. But nevertheless, you know how to do. They remain anonymous. Well, anyway, I can be found on YouTube and Rumble, Spotify, and Apple Podcasts. Follow me on X at VFBaller. And check out everything in the description if you want to donate and support the show. All my links and all the other stuff should be down there as well. All right, y'all. I'll see y'all guys on the next one. Enjoy the rest of your day, and hopefully you guys have a great week. And I'll see you on the next one. All right, y'all. Y'all take it easy, and y'all be blessed. Peace.